Section number 34 is entitled Multiplication of Prime Numbers. If somebody asks you to multiply 32.8 by 7.1, well, basically ignore the decimal. It didn't even have to be lined up. We're going to multiply 1 by the top number, and you're going to get the top number, 328. Indent 1. Now you're going to multiply the top number by 7. 7 times 8 is 56. Bring up to 5. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 5 is 19. Bring up to 1. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 1 is 22. And you add these row of numbers, 12, 3, 2. Now you're older now. You're not in second grade anymore. You can think a little bit better. This number, 32.8, well, that's close to 30. This number, 7.1, is close to 7. When you multiply those two numbers, you get 210. The answer should be around 210. Since our number was bigger than 30, it was 32.8, and it was bigger than 7, it was 7.1, our answer should be a little bit more than 210. Well, that is, you have this number. I'm going to write it down a number of times. You have this number. Well, the decimal can go in front, but then you have less than 1. You have 0.2. It can go here. Well, now you have a little bit more than 2. You have 2 and a fraction part, which is less than 1. You have more than 2, but less than 3. That's not more than 210. 23 and a little bit more. That's not near 210. 232.88. That's near 210. You may say, well, why not the next one? 23288. Well, that number is more than 2,000. It's 2,328. I moved the decimal one more place to the right to get it here. I kept moving the decimal to the right. The next number, if you can see it, would be 2328.8, which is a number I wrote on top. That's too big. That is, the answer is 232.88. And you should just see that. You should look at this number and say it's near 30, this is near 7. If I have 7 $30 bills, if you have 7 $20 bills, you have 140. This number should be a little more than 140. They're not many times more. So it's 232.88. If you really hate it, that's fine. You had to count in one place to find the first decimal, 1 in the first number. In the second number, you had to count in one place. You add that up, you get 2. So you had to count in 2 places. But you really shouldn't do that anymore. You should know how to estimate. You buy an item, you buy 7 items that cost $32.80. You should have an idea how much that's going to cost you. If you wanted to multiply 32.194 by 0.9, you don't have to line up the decimal. Well, this number is around 32, this number is around 1. The answer should be around 32 times 1 or 32. Okay. 9 times 4 is 36, carry the 3. 9 times 9 is 81, plus 3 is 84, bring up to 8. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 8 is 17, bring up to 1. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 1 is 19, bring up to 1. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 1 is 28. should be around 32. The decimal goes there. It's a little bit more than 28. Again, really hate that method. The top number, the decimal we found 1, 2, 3 places in. The second number, we found the decimal 1 place in. When we add that, we get 4. So we bring in the decimal 4 places. There it is. But I knew it goes there. I know what around 32 times around 1 is. Around 32. Don't insult yourself. You know that. Now, this method will not work, say, for numbers that are close to 0. Because this number is around 0, and this number is around 0. And you multiply, you get around 0. But this product is going to be different than this product, 1 less 0. Both of these numbers, 2, 1. Both of those numbers are near 0. So when you multiply it, it's going to be near 0. I mean, let's look at the last answer. 289,746. Now, we can put the decimal here, or we can put a 0 in front of the decimal, or 2 zeros in front of the decimal. The problem is that the numbers are starting to look near 0. This last number, this number is close to 0. But you know what? So is this number. And you know what? So is this number close to 0. So the question is, where should we put the 0? Okay? So if you had 0.000329194, I'm getting that from this number. And the 9, the 0.0009. Well, when you multiply, you're going to get 289,746. And after all, I just multiplied 9 by that number. If I didn't make a mistake, there was my answer. Well, where do you put the decimal? Well, the numbers are close to 0. This time you must count in. You count in how many places there, how many places there, you add them up, and then you make sure you move that number of spaces in. You can't tell where it is. But other than 0, it's getting close to 9. Well, you should know where to put the number so it's close to 9. Okay. So let's actually do this bottom left problem. In this case, you can't estimate. If when you estimate, you get 0, well then you have to count in. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times the zeros are zeros. You want to put the zeros, do so. You don't put an X. And then 2 times 4 is 8. And 2 times the other zeros is zeros. You don't have to put those zeros. When you add up, you get 84. Let me just put it a little bit higher so I can write more. You get 4. Again, you want to put this 3 zeros, but notice they won't do anything. 2 times 4 is 8, and then 2 times the 3 zeros. Those 3 zeros are all zeros. When you add, you get 4 eighths. You don't need to put the other 3 zeros. You don't need to put the 0 here, or here, or here. At least you don't know if you need to put it yet. Okay, now let me write down the numbers again so they're not written over like the ones I've done so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. They went 4 spaces, and the second number went 3 spaces. When I add that, it's 7. I must go in 7 spaces. Now, if I need to put down zeros, I do so. Now, if I need to put down zeros, I do so. If there's a loop, and you'll see what a loop is in a moment, if there's a loop that doesn't have a digit above it, you put a 0. We have to go in 7 spaces. I start at the right. I start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the loops. There's a digit above this loop, a digit above that one, nothing above this one, or if you want to say there is, fine. Above this one's a 0, above this one's a 0. Above this one is nothing, so we put a 0. We put a 0 and a decimal. That is, the answer is decimal 5 zeros, 84. That's the answer to this problem right here. That problem right here, 0.0004 times 0.021. Again, if you put the decimal, say, right here, you'll still be close to 0. If you put it here, you're close to 0. If you put it there, it's close to 0. But where do you put it? In this case, you have to count in. That's the only case where you have to count in. If one of the numbers is near 0, you have to count in. You wanted to do 72.312 times 7.4. Well, this is around 70 and that's around 7. Well, this is very similar to 7 times 7, which is 49. Just add that 0. The answer should be around 490. Since the first number is bigger than 7 and 70, and the second number is bigger than 7, it is 7.4, well, the answer will be more than 490. Okay, since I wrote on this problem, let me just do it right here. You don't have to line up the decimals. 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12, carry the 1, 4 times the 2 is 8, plus the 1 is 9, 4 times 7, 28. So that's what you get for the first line of numbers that you're going to add in a moment. Now you get the second line. You multiply by 7. Indent. 7 times 2 is 14, carry the 1. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. 7 times 3 is 21, bring up the 2. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 2 is 16, bring up the 1. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. Now you add these two row of numbers, 10, 11, 15, 11. Now the answer, let me make sure I didn't make a mistake in both cases. This first digit I thought was a 1, but it's really a 7. Hold on. 8, 4, 12. Oh, I still have a mistake. Let us do it to the left. Sorry. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 2 is 8. Oh, I see. Plus 1. That was the old remainder. Is 9. So yeah, I did the first one correct. Indent. 7 times 2 is 14, carry 1. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. 7 times 3 is 21, carry the 2. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 4 is 16, carry the 1. Now yeah, there was my mistake. 7 times 7 is 49, plus 1 is 50. So we get 8, 8, 10, 11, 15, 3, 5. Now, for this number to be anywhere, so this had a little typo. Again, I thought there was a 1 there, and 7 times 1 was 7, plus 1 is 8. That's how I got an 8 here. But it's supposed to be 7 times 7 plus 1. Either case, to get anywhere near 490, the decimal goes right there. You want to count in, but it's 535. You go in 1, 2, 3 places to find the first decimal. You go in 1 place to find the second decimal. You add them up. That's 4. You need to go in 4 places to find the decimal. And what I mean by find it is to place it. You need to place the decimal there. And that's what we got anyways, using basic knowledge of rounding off. 70 times 7 is 490. That actually should finish up the section on multiplying decimal numbers. Next section will be dividing them.